Hello guys, we are back with our next lecture. In this lecture, let us go through an example guys. So from step 1 to step 6 guys, like how the compiler will be converting a single statement into the machine code guys. Okay, so that we will be having a clear idea. Okay, so let us take the statement guys. Okay, so if possible you also take a piece of paper so that it will be clear for you. Okay, so basically this is the string guys. Okay, so if you pass this string or this expression, you can say this expression into lexical analysis. So basically if you recall, the lexical analysis will be dividing this whole string or this whole expression into lexemes, right? So lexemes are nothing but the simple small pieces guys. Okay, and these lexemes are identified as a tokens guys by giving a particular name to them. So basically this is an identifier, right? So you'll be writing them in this way with the representing, as we are having multiple identifiers, so let us use a comma and represent the number guys. Okay, similarly we are having equal to, and this is also an identifier. Similarly we are having a b, sorry, this is operator guys. So similarly we are having b, that is also an identifier. Then we are having a star. Okay, so then we are having one more identifier. Okay, so then we are again having star, and again we are having an identifier. Okay, and at the end we are having semicolon. So in this way you will be representing guys. Okay, so I hope everyone got some basic idea what will be the output from the lexical analyzer, right? Yes. So if you pass this to a syntax analyzer, so here I told you it will be creating a parse tree, right? Yes. So based on the priority, you'll be creating this parse tree guys. Sorry, syntax tree or parse tree, you can say. Parse tree is also correct. Okay, so you need to remember the only one thing is that it should be constructed based on the priority. Okay, so based on the priority as well as based on the associativity. If priority clashes, you will be moving on to associativity. So in this way. Okay, so let us assume here guys. Okay, so here two operators we are having stars only. Okay, sorry for that. So here two operators we are having star only. So let us assume they are right associative or left. So let us assume them as right associative guys. So right associative is nothing but from right side you will be taking them guys. So basically from right, if you start, you will be taking the C and D. So C is nothing but ID3 and ID3 and ID4, right? So ID4. So we'll be performing a multiplication operation in between them, and again you will be performing an ID2 with these multiplication operations. So basically if you just ask me with respect to this in this way guys, so first you will be doing this, and then with this result you will be doing this, right? So that's what I have just written here guys. So basically first you will be multiplying the D3 and D4, ID3 and ID4, you'll be getting the result, and this result will be multiplied with the ID2 to get this result. At the end you will be substituting that result into your ID1. Okay, so this is nothing but the syntax tree guys. Okay, so once the syntax tree is drawn, now this syntax tree will be passed to your semantics analyzer guys. Semantic analyzer. So basically once you pass through the semantic analyzer, it will be checking for types and all those things guys. So basically here everything is identifier itself, so you'll be getting the same result guys, because there is nothing to check in this. As everything is identifier, we will not be having any issue here. But if there is any kind of number, then we will be converting it into a float type or based on its type guys. Okay, so now let us try to write the intermediate code guys. So if you recall, the same parse tree can be written in terms of intermediate code guys. So this is passed to the intermediate code generator. Okay, so first we'll be calculating ID3 into ID4, and let us assume that we are storing it in temporary variable 1. Okay, T1. So then you will be multiplying ID2 into T1. That is nothing but you'll be multiplying them, and let us assume we stored the result in T2. Okay, and then further moving on, you will be getting the result T2 and you'll be storing it in ID1. So this is nothing but the 3 address code guys. So the 3 address is nothing but the first address, the second address, and the third address guys. So 3 addresses. So it indirectly states that the maximum of 3 guys, there is no restriction that minimum 3. The maximum addresses which you can accommodate in a single statement is 3. Got it? Yes. So now let us go through So after this, we will be moving on to code optimization. So if you observe here, there is a one waste step, guys, you can say in simple words. So basically T1 is equals to ID3 into ID4. Okay. And when you pass this, instead of storing in T2, you can directly store in ID1, right? So that's the only step which you can remove, guys. So T2. So once you pass into code optimization, you'll be getting this as the result, guys. So once you got this as the result, you can move on to code generation, guys. So CG. Okay. So once you move on to code generation, here you can move the variables into registers and you can start our operation, guys. So basically here we are having ID3, ID4, ID2, temporary 1 and temporary 2, right? Okay. So let us move first the value of ID3 into R1, guys. Okay. Into R3. Okay. Let us assume in that way. So it will be clear for you. Similarly, move. Okay. So move R2. So ID4, the value of ID4 is moved into R2, guys. Okay. Okay. So in this way you'll be doing, guys. So once you got the values, you can perform the operation, right? So here this value is stored in R3 and this value is stored in R2. So basically R3 and R2 are nothing but the registers, guys. Okay. So now you can apply the multiplication operation between R3 and R2. Okay. And now the result will be stored in R3, guys. Okay. Similarly, now you can move the next value, right? So you need to have ID1, ID2 also. So let us move it into R1. Okay. So you'll be moving this value into this, and then you can again perform the multiplication operation between R1 and R3. And then you can move this R1 value into ID1. So in this way you can do, guys. Okay. So this is the whole step-by-step process of compilation, guys. Like how a single statement. So this is what I have just written in the book, guys. So if you just have a look, let us have a look again, guys. So initially you'll be given an expression. Once you pass it into the lexical analyzer, you'll be getting in terms of tokens. So these tokens are passed into the syntax analyzer to get the parse tree or syntax tree. And this syntax tree is passed into the semantic analyzer, where the whole meaning will be checked. Okay. So once that is done, you will be generating the intermediate code. That is nothing but 3 address code will be generated, guys. So again, you will be doing the code optimization where you will be removing unwanted things, and at the end you will be generating the assembly code, guys. Okay. Okay. So even you can write about the symbol table. So symbol table consists of all the variables which are given. Sorry for that, which are defined. Okay. So here we are having. Okay, here we are having a D also, right? So we can add D also here. Sorry, I think I forgot while I'm writing. Okay. So ABCD in that way. Okay. Yes. So this is one more example, guys. The same example with 1 plus and 1 into, guys. Multiplication with some value. Okay. Okay. So let us go through this also. Lexical analyzer, identifier 1 equal to identifier 2 plus identifier 3 into 36.0. So this is a floating value, right? Yes. So syntax analyzer will be drawing the tree, parse tree, right? So we got the tree. And semantic analyzer. So here you will be checking the type, guys. So if you observe here we wrote float. That is nothing but 36.0. So if you defined in program as an int, here you will be getting an issue, right? So you can identify the error here. Okay. Similarly, intermediate code generation. So you'll be getting the intermediate code in 4 statements, guys. So if you compress these 4 statements, or if you optimize those 4 statements, you will be getting again 2 statements. And for those 2 statements, you can write the code generation. So similarly, you can write the symbol table for this also. What are the symbols, guys? So amount, principal and rate. So amount, principal and rate can be written in your symbol table, guys. Okay. So in that way you can write. Okay. So I hope everyone got some basic idea about how you can write everything, right? Yes. So how the phases of compiler will be working. So we discussed in the last lecture, we discussed in detailed theoretically, and in this lecture we discussed with an examples, right? With examples. Okay. So in the next lecture we'll be discussing about the major data structures in compilers, guys. So the major data structures are nothing but the symbol tables, literal tables, and parse trees, guys. Okay. So we'll be discussing about them in the next lecture, guys. Okay. So let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks for watching.